O Lord, may your hand lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May all be happy. May all be peaceful. May all be enlightened and cultured. May all attain perfection. May peace be established in the three bodies of man. May peace be established in the three worlds. May peace be established everywhere. May truth be our religion. May service be our worship. May knowledge be our breath. May world be our family. May yoga and meditation be our way. May our eyes see happy and noble things. May our ears hear happy and truthful words. May our tongues be sweet and truthful. May our bodies be divine instruments. May noble thoughts come to us from all corners of the universe. May we never leave God, and may God never leave us. Om, peace and love. Om, peace and health. Om, peace and enlightenment. Good morning. Oh, it's very warm out. If you have been with me for a while, you know that most of my inspiration now comes from Archangel Michael and through the work that Ronna Vezane does. And today I'm going to talk to you about last month's message that he calls "You, the Wayshowers, are the hope of the future." I love the scriptures, but right now we need, and I love the old traditions as well, but everything needs to be modified into today's society. And whatever is being taught always has and always will be the truth behind it. And you as an individual, when you're hearing something, you have to run it through your heart monitor and see if it rings true for you. If it does not ring truth for you, let it sit there and just don't integrate it, but let it be. Don't fight against it. What happens to us is that we start listening and we immediately start our mind going. And either we like it or we don't like it, we agree with it or we don't agree with it. So we're really not listening. And I've spoken about this many times. We're really not listening. I would like you to listen, and on spiritual things. That is so important, to start listening. Sometimes people are sitting there writing their lecture so that they would remember it in the future rather than listening right now. Remember, there is a huge difference between knowledge and wisdom. The difference is that once you get the knowledge, and if you integrate it and it becomes part of your being, it's called wisdom. And right now, as we are going through this wonderful change on the planet, we need to really work on listening and working with ourselves. And here I would like to read this part for you that Archangel Michael has written. Beloved Masters, it is imperative that you understand the critical nature of the dramatic, accelerated, and swiftly changing times that you are now experiencing. You are in a final stage of a specific unit of time. And you all have been subject to a unique system of rules. Totally free will was deemed to be a great gift. However, it became a great burden as humanity sank into the broad spectrum of duality, which has resulted in great pain and suffering. There was a non-interference clause written in the rules, and the specific time for this particular phase of creation had to be played out before our Mother, Father, God could declare, it's enough. It's time to intercede. There will be a divine dispensation for those that are striving to attain self-mastery. And the spiritual hierarchy and the angelic kingdom are authorized to give assistance in whatever way is appropriate within the framework of cosmic law. The law of grace exists as the higher frequency of karmic law and will henceforth apply to the emerging group of world service as well as the aspirants and disciples of the path of ascension. So you see, it is most important. And if you are listening to these lectures, you know that you are on the path of ascension. You don't have to question it. And you are needed. You are needed right now. A new expanded cycle of creation is in process. And all of you who are striving to attain unified state of consciousness will be designated as co-creators of the future. As a ray of God light, your divine mission is to expand the borders of God consciousness. And you have to say, well, here we are in the middle of so much turmoil, and yet start looking at the future. Start looking at what we are. We are the wayshowers. We are the hope of the future. And therefore we must do the work. And this is so important. I'm asking you to all do the work, just like Michael is asking you to all do the work. We must. Self-mastery does not take sides, neither for nor against the conflicts that are presently raging around the world. Your personal power is most effective when you stay centered within your sacred heart and you are guided by the wisdom of your sacred mind. Your stance should always be that of goodwill, and your platform should be for the greatest good of all. As you actively seek enlightenment and strive to return to balance and harmony within, it is important that you become aware of certain karmic limitations that your soul needs to learn. It is important to stay neutral and to watch what is happening. That doesn't mean you shove it out, but you watch what is happening. Don't get involved in the conflict that is happening right now on the planet. We've all been sequestered, so we have had time to think about ourselves a little bit more. And there's a lot of fear going on, and a lot of turmoil within the family unit and within ourselves. Let us all strive towards a unified state of consciousness. You see, consciousness is in everything. It is everywhere. In yoga, we call it prana. Archangel Michael calls it adamantine particles. They come through our breath. They come through our food. They're similar to oxygen. They ride the oxygen molecule. But they are not oxygen. They're separate. And so we have the ability, and especially since most of us are taking yoga and so forth, we have the ability to take in more of that consciousness. And once the body takes in more consciousness, it begins to feel better. The deep breathing, the working with the body, to understand that the body and mind go together, to have all of those things working for you at the same time is very appropriate and very much needed at this time. So yes, we are not meeting here in the city, but we're meeting out in the park, under the sky, on grass, with Mother Earth, and doing our yoga. Could that not be more beautiful? We're not in a cement building. And it is at that time that you come for your yoga class. And if you can't come, it is time that you, when you do it on your own, that you begin to look inside. And empower yourself. You see, when you begin to take power back, when you begin to understand that you are a spark of the divine creator, then you are able to take more prana. You are able to transmute adamantine particles. We have talked to you about the infinity breath, in which you breathe in and you breathe out and give it back to Mother Nature and down into to the universe and back down into Mother Nature and then back up again. And if you don't know it, look it up, the infinity breath. It is a most important breath that we must do now to serve humanity. Our work is absolutely needed because, as you mentioned, as we read to you before, there was a clause of non-interference. But once you step onto the pathway of becoming a wayshower, once you step on, you give permission for our Mother God, Father God, or for the angels, or for your higher self, or for your guardian angel to assist you. And this is very important. Don't allow yourself to get involved in the turmoil that is going around. Become aware. You must be aware. Everybody must know what's going on, but don't become involved. Don't rule for anyone. Don't push. Work on yourself. By doing so, you will serve humanity. Isn't that wonderful? Right now, most of us are sequestered. There are people out there serving humanity in the physical form. But it's wonderful. It is wonderful that we can work in the silence of our being to serve humanity. Because energy needs to come down that is not of discordant energy, but to rebuild, to bring out. Okay? Now, your brain is composed of multiple levels of consciousness. The lower brain and the 3 lower chakras are the realm of humanity, animal humanist consciousness. It is mostly instinctive, drawing much of its information from the collective consciousness of the astral plane and from the Earth's consciousness. Understand that. And that's where this is what you're listening to in the TV and the movies and in the news, etc. Earth's consciousness, survival, and the ego desire body are in control of the masses' thoughts and desires, and thus form the prevalent picture of reality. The focus is on the external material world and on service to self. As your consciousness moves into the mid-level brain activity, you begin the process of becoming a spiritual human being, and your feeling nature will gradually move upwards to incorporate the heart and throat chakra. A gradual awakening process begins as your soul nudges you into the path of awareness, and the journey of ascension begins. And as an aspirant on the path, you must traverse the astral plane and gain control of the emotional and astral body, the lower nature, the lower three chakras, which will open the pathway of the refined frequency of cosmic truth. We are your higher self, guides, teachers, angelic helpers. Harmlessness in thought, word, and deed, which with focused observation abilities are important traits of a self-master. You must clear the mind of distorted, negative, defeating thoughts before you become a transmitter of light into the darkness and distortions of the lower dimensions. And I like to talk to you about that. We all, when we're born, we are born with a desire to serve. We are born with a desire to share. We're born with a desire to love. And every individual looks for somebody to love and to be loved by someone. This is a very natural thing. And so, the reason we have been taken away and have become selfish is because our mind has been overburdened with the astral plane and the emotional plane. I'd like you to transcend that. Distance yourself from conversations about the critical process right now. Distance yourself from judgment. Understand what is happening, but do not judge. Know that everything is in divine order, and know that everyone is doing the best that they can with the tools that they have at this present moment. And not everyone can transcend the astral plane. But you yogis, you that have studied yoga, that have been doing yoga, that are doing yoga in the park now, you are the ones that can now take in more adamantine particles or more prana and start working with the physical body to begin with, and start bringing it into ascension, and then bring the mind into a better ascension, and move out of the three lower chakras into your heart center, into the love aspect of yourself. And in the heart center is the most wonderful trinity: divine love, divine wisdom, divine knowledge. And would you not love to have that within you? When you do, the fears disappear. The uncertainties disappear. And you become relaxed and accept the way things are. And your intuition begins to flow and allows you to know what is needed from here on in. And I'm imploring all of you in this midst of this chaos that is happening now to step back and take a step forward to become the wayshore that is now needed on this planet more than ever before as we transition into the new dimension. And know all those people that are still in the lower dimensions are full of fear and are coming up and expressing themselves, because Michael once said they feel like the floor is being pulled out from under them because there is a different consciousness around. So understand what is happening. Understand and transcend. And no judgment. Allow it to happen. Everything is going to flow in divine order, including your life. But you must make that effort. Make the effort. In yoga, we call it yoga chitta vritti nirodha, complete control over the mind waves. Do not allow your mind, and if you find it, catch it and say, okay, come on, get out of that. If you find judgment, you go, okay, get out of that. It's not as difficult. It's just becoming aware of what the mind is doing. And we call it mindfulness. And that's the new password now, is mindfulness, not meditation. But both ways, it becoming aware of what we need to be doing to help our work is divine work. Our work will transform this planet. Our work is a blessed work. And would you not like to be part of that? So, controlling the mind and building your consciousness and building better health within you and building and taking in more prana in the way of food and oxygen and exercise, etc. These are all ways to serve humanity without going out there in the silence of your home. And now is the time to really work on that. And that's all I wish to say today. And I hope, my prayer is that, like we said in the very beginning, may our bodies be divine instruments. Like we said that in our prayer. May our bodies be divine instruments. And we need to get our bodies and mind ready to be divine instruments. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om.